Hi, Alexis. Um, since I have you online, can you confirm with me if it is we did strategic marketing planning as yet? It's a blue background PowerPoint presentation. Or can anyone just confirm with me if we did strategic marketing planning as yet? No. Only reason why I'm asking is because I, some of us so nearby, so therefore I get a little confused. I think we did though. Alexis, was that you just listen? You think so? Anybody else want to just Anybody else just want to help confirm if it is we did strategic marketing planning, talking about the 4 P's of marketing. The 4 P's of marketing ring a bell to anyone? Nobody? We have 14 people online right now and nobody can remember if we did strategic marketing planning. All right. You don't think so? Oh, Samantha see things we didn't. Okay. So let's go then. So this morning we have 2 more lectures to do, which is strategic marketing planning and the BCG matrix or the Boston Consulting Group matrix. Um, did we did we need to review what we did last week? Last week what we did we no last week we didn't do anything. I canceled class. The week before we would have done a balanced scorecard, I believe. All right, so let's get into it. You're opening up your lecture called Strategic Marketing Planning. It's in your supposed to be in your lecture notes. So let's go. Um, before we do it, I hope everyone would have looked at the attachment I sent via WhatsApp. It's the reason why I sent it to you all is because it speaks to um, our entrepreneurship ability. Um, Prime Minister Motley was talking about removing um, this self discontent, as in we limit by removing the limits that we have on ourselves, and to accept and understand that we can actually produce international quality products and services. And she drew some references to the different persons from the different countries that produce things that internationally has been acclaimed. We talk about the Usain Bolt, the Brian Lara's, the Derek Walcott's, V.S. Naipaul's, Peter Minshall, amongst others, Rihanna, the performer Rihanna. Um, and I send this to you all so that way you could look at it again at another time and really appreciate that there is nothing that can put a limit to us. And it's for those of you who are in farm admin as well, the whole concept of internal locus of control is where these things speak to, where you need to understand that the sky is the limit, and especially as we are moving into a completely digitized age, and everything is online and everything can be done from for those of you who were in class yesterday as well, saw the quotation from Elon Musk, which is a very, very true thing. There are so many people who get themselves skilled and educated completely online. Sometimes it's true. Same YouTube videos that people, do it yourself videos um, on different websites that can teach you how to do things. So it is a reminder for you students to I want you all to keep looking beyond your core pharmacy degree and look beyond that to see what you can get yourself involved in. And we're doing management right now, so you can perhaps get yourself involved in management. We're doing um, entrepreneurship to an extent, so you can get yourself involved in some sort of entrepreneurial activity. It may not have to only be pharmacy, it may not have to only be health, but you can perhaps use your health training as a pivot, as something that can aid in your other entrepreneurial activity. So I'm appealing to you all again to keep your minds open and do not box yourself into a particular job category and a particular job specification. The sky's the limit. There's so many things that you all can get done with your naturally available intelligent brain. And just accept and discard of anything that you may have on your shoulder that says, I can't do it, we're not good enough, we don't have this resource, we don't have that resource. But think critically, think differently, think innovation, and think digital, and you will be surprised that you might find yourself looking up solutions to problems that the world has, that you may actually come up with a solution for. I'm saying this again in the context that not everything, not every time the first thing you think about would be a good idea. Several ideas may have to come and we have to fail before one good idea gets up to the table. Simple case in point, the light bulb that's above everyone's heads. It took several hundred failed attempts before the light bulb was actually created, and it is what it is today. So I want to remind you all that um, you have to just keep at it. You have to just keep trying to be creative, trying to be innovative, trying to apply yourself, trying to understand the material, and one day it will happen. It will happen. All right, so I just said that to the start of today's lecture. So let's go. We are looking at strategic marketing planning. Now, when we hear marketing, um, what comes to mind, students? When you hear the term marketing, what do you um, what do you know marketing to be like? Or what experience have you had with marketing? Whether be it as a customer, you've been marketed to, someone marketed a product to you. What is marketing to you? Anybody wanna give me just a little statement on what they think marketing is and what marketing is about? Teresa, it's advertising. Yes, it is advertising. It's advertising. Correct. Anybody else? What experiences you all have with marketing? Girls, I know you all have lots of experiences with marketing, and I'm sure you can probably pinpoint one or two product examples where you have been marketed to. Favorable opinion on a product, Leandra, things that will attract the target. Right? Good, Leandra. I like how you're thinking. I like how you're thinking, Leandra. And yes, Kavita R, favorable opinion on a product. Whose favorable opinion? You mean a manufacturer wants you to get a favorable opinion on a product, right? I'm assuming that's what you mean. But yes, Leandra, I like where you're going with that. So girls, come on, tell me, and Jahil, I know you're here. I know you're in the dance. So tell me, give me a real life example of something that would have been you would have been influenced by. And we have everyday examples. It's all over. Just if you just imagine being exposed to something and then being influenced by it. Um, Give me some example. This morning I'm starting off with being interactive because I find yesterday nobody was talking much. I know Jahil said it was a little confusing. Yes, I understand, but I want the interaction to be maintained. Come on. If you all talk plenty, I promise in the next hour we will look at the first in course assignment. Do I have all the submissions to the first in course assignment? I want to be. I love it. I love it. I love it. Leandre, I wanted Beats headphones because it had a purple Justin Bieber edition. All right, yes, yes, that's marketing. And remember, I don't know if you all remember, I don't know if it was in this class or another class, where I used the same Beats example to say that this was their strategy to get their product out there. They gave away their product, their Beats headphones. They literally gave it away to all of these celebrities, whether be it sports persons, whether be it movie stars, whether be it politicians, whether be it all of these popular people. Um, they give away their product to anybody else. Anybody else want to give me and give us an example of how you've been affected by marketing? Come on, girls. Vikash, I know you're in this class as well, and there's only two guys. No, there's Nishad Ali as well. I'm assuming Nishad is a guy. Um, if you all here, tell me some examples. I don't want to just be picking on the girls alone. Tell me some examples of things you would have been affected by, products that you would have been affected by their marketing strategy. Teresa, the web, now it is set up to like my students are on a mission this morning to make me laugh. The web now set up now it's set up to mind your business, Teresa. So when I search for a product online, Katrina, when I purchase 4 foot long and get a free cup at Subway Motive. Oh, Katrina, serious, serious. You bought 4 foot long sandwiches just to get a cup, and you throw away the 4 foot long. You could have given it away to a vagrant or someone homeless, or maybe it was somebody else who may be hungry. Teresa, that when I go on Facebook, I seen ads of the same things I search for popping. I almost said pooping, popping, yes, popping up. Samantha, fast food industry. So let me answer Teresa. Teresa, that's that's software at work. Even all of these software companies, Google, YouTube, well, Google, YouTube is owned by Google, Google, Facebook, um, whoever else runs software companies, Yahoo, they all employ bots, BOTS, that take note of what your searches are, and they now um, they call it assist, and I would call it assist as well. They now assist you in bringing things that are similar to what you've searched to your attention, so that you can now get more options. I understand and I agree it might look as though it might in your business. Yes, Teresa, but it's meant to give you more options to look at, right? So that's what it's meant to. Yes, I know it might feel as though as we say, macro in your business, but it's meant to give you more options to purchase. So it's a revenue generation. It's an economic generation tool that they use. These bots, we call them BOTS, or but it's software programming. Samantha C. Fast food industry when billboards go up of price savings in their specials and deals. Yes. And right there, fast food industry, forget the price and savings. Sometimes they have this huge billboard wherever location is, most times on the highway, and ask you a simple question. Are you hungry? Are you hungry? And you might be really hungry. You might be really hungry, and you might say, well, look, there's the closest fast food outlet or food option available, and you might turn off the highway and go get it. All right. And even if you don't at that time, by constantly seeing the same message over and over, it now programs your mind into saying, this is an option. I'm saying all of this because I want you all to appreciate how simple marketing is and how easy it is applied. Katrina, no, no, just one. Don't worry. It was they said four. They said four. Katrina, purchase 4 foot long and get a free cup. The reason why the foot long was soggy most likely is because you probably wanted to put all the sauces in the world on it. All right, so don't blame anybody but you, Katrina. Faria, you don't even have to search. You could just, and that's true. That's actually true. That's actually true. Um, yes, that's why we love KFC. A vagrant wouldn't want that. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised, Katrina. Katrina, a vagrant would want it. There are people out here who simply do have good, healthy food options. So Faria is saying, yes, sometimes you could just talk about something, and again, this is the bots, because these applications and these programs have access to your microphone because you give them access to it. When you learn, you go on your phone and you see which programs have access to your microphone and to your camera, etc. So yes, sometimes even talking about something can can now give information to can give information to these bots that can now feed and sell. Well, yes, they sell your information to marketing companies that can now put in front of your eye, put in front of your face their product to now say, we should can actually try this. All right. So this is how marketing goes. This is how as simple as it is, because as human beings, we have eyes, we have our senses, we have our nose, eyes, ears, mouth, and the social dilemma. What was that about, Faria? Tell me what that social dilemma was. It wasn't about the social. What was it? the one that spoke about the creation of Facebook. It wasn't that right? I'm assuming it's something else. Yes. So marketing appeals to all of our senses, how they manipulate people using social media. Well, social media is a tool now that is the dominant tool now used to we use you use the word manipulate, but manipulate may have a little negative connotation to it. The better term would be influence, where social media is now the best influencer of persons and their decision making. Um, because before there were several other things. There were the written press, there was the TV media, radio media, billboards were existing before. Sometimes direct to home marketing with these pamphlets and these flyers. Um, can someone give me a very long time method for those of us who may be familiar with rural based marketing? Can someone give the class a little humor this morning on what still exists today in some of our rural communities of how something is marketed? I don't want to use another term because that's going to sell it out. What was the thing that was used long ago? Mike, man, correct. That announcements. Yes, there is. Right. So you all familiar with those things? I thought everybody in class here was bourgeois, but you all are down to it as well. Okay, great, good. Well, I shouldn't. All right. Let me don't say anything. Good. Yes. So Mike, man, we long ago we have been very familiar with um, Mike. Oh, you, or the Teresa and Korea, or the age showing. Well, there are some communities that don't have mic men at all whatsoever, and then there are a large number of other communities that still employ mic men. Now, I use the word bourgeois just now, and I said if you don't live in a bourgeois community, then you're humble. But that's actually not a fair statement. There are many humble people that live in bourgeois communities as well, and also there are very confident persons who live in rural communities. So it goes vice versa. Right. Good. So we have a little introduction on what marketing is like. Right. So let's get into the lecture. So your mission statement is very important to develop your business plan. And your business plan now would have several components: your marketing plan, your financial plan, human resource plan, distribution and supply. So strategic marketing plans can be done whenever you have a marketing problem. So a marketing problem may not be a new problem that comes up in it. A marketing issue can be simply you are now launching your entrepreneurial activity. You are now starting up with your product or your service, and you now need a marketing plan to get your service off the ground. Yes, as point two said, many times people would try to provide services without marketing properly, and they just leave it to be, let it be. Sometimes that's deliberate because they may not be ready for a large customer influx. So they may be what we call a soft opening or a soft marketing approach. Actually, no marketing approach, where they want to just put out their service to see how the market adapts to it. And then we have an example here with Walmart using their $4 generic prescription as a marketing strategy to get more customers in. And we have some local companies here as well. I know Superfarm does the 10% Tuesday, and I think Starlight and some other large chain-based pharmacies do have um, some strategies that they use to get more walk-in traffic into their stores. So developing your strategic marketing plan, you see your SWOT analysis here is actually very important because your SWOT analysis is going to tell you your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats. Because your strengths and your weaknesses are found where? Where are your strengths and your weaknesses found? When looking at your organization, product or service, where are your strengths and weaknesses found? Tell me, guys and gals. Jahil, Vikash, you all in with us this morning? Tell me where your strengths and weaknesses are. And tell me where your opportunities and threats are within the context of your organization or within the context of your product and service. Nobody? Come on, come on, come on. Strengths and weaknesses, I said this to you all already, are located where? And opportunities and threats are located where? Strengths and weaknesses are within Strengths and weaknesses are within your organization, product and service. So within the employees, yes, your employees actually, to answer your question correctly, your employees are usually part of your strength or your weakness, right? So it's not within the individual employee, but your employees as a whole, with their capacity, their abilities are part of your strengths and weaknesses. So yes, so strengths and weaknesses are within. So we'll go that part of your answer, Teresa, within. Therefore, opportunities and threats lie. Shakila, strengths and weaknesses are internal. Hi, Shakila. Kavita R, opportunities and threats are external factors. Thank you. Correct. Correct. So always remember that, right, Shakila? Correct. So we are looking at your strengths and weaknesses. Each SWOT is unique and requires a clear understanding of the competition. Elements of the SWOT are framed in comparison with competitors. All right. So when you do your strengths, when you look at your strengths and your weaknesses, everything is done within the context of the competition. Now, I want to put in here, I want to put in here a statement, and I'm putting it in because I don't want you to I want you to be able to understand that there are always exceptions to things. So yes, your strengths and your weaknesses are with respect to competitors, but take note of this. Successful entrepreneurs are never concerned with competitors. Rather, continuous refinement of their Take a look at that. Successful entrepreneurs are never concerned with competitors, but rather continuous refinement of their product, service, and their customers. So that's a very, very true statement. When you build your company and when you build your product or your service around the satisfaction of your customers and you are constantly looking at your customer satisfaction, you need not look at your competition, because once you are in tune with up to date and advance all the advancements available with the particular field that you're in, you will always be ahead of the competition, and you will not be preoccupied with your competition. I'm saying this because when you do your SWOT analysis, as according to the lecture, when you do your SWOT analysis and your capability assessment of your strengths and your weaknesses, I do not want you to get completely immersed in a competitive fight with your customers. Because, and I want to emphasize this point again, you are out here to provide a product and a service. Your product and your service may be unique, or it may be the same product and service that other persons provide as well. How do you now identify yourself, or how do you now make yourself an option to to your potential customers? One could be your location, and we always talk location, 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 location. The best location is always the best, will always produce the best results, right? Yes, that's important, but there are other things as well that can put you in a position that is now considered to be competitive to your peers. So I want you to understand that I want you to base your business or around your customer. I want you to continuously to have in your mission and in your and in your drive to always be continuously improving your product and service, and always be in a position of satisfying your customers. We spoke about this with Balance Scorecard, the management tool that's used to monitor the progress and the achievement of these companies' strategic goals and objectives, ensuring that your customers are always happy. But it is important as well, yes, to always do a SWOT analysis. Always look at the competition. I myself would have been guilty at times, um, perhaps to not look at the competition closely enough, because I usually get very immersed in what we are about to produce and what we are about to achieve, right? And the strategies that we are going to look at in providing a service, and sometimes it might be a new service to the community or to the customers that we serve. So your strengths and your weaknesses, your people skills, your availability and training of the personnel that can give you advantage. Money, if you have some financial backing, um, if you have good financial backing, that is always a strength, because when you have good financial backing, that means you have some wiggle room. You have a little bit of wiggle room. You can perhaps make a little mistake and have the money to compensate for it. I think Amber is in this class, and I remember reading Amber's answer for in first in course, and she spoke about using the money of your friend, using the financial resources of your friends and family to get your entrepreneurial activity going. So yes, so having money, having access to money, because not all the time you may have access to bank finances, but you may have access. You may be fortunate enough to have, some relatives that are willing to bankroll you. Systems, how well designed and organized and coordinated your system is. Now, guys, this is management 101. Have you how is your system operating? We talk about this all the time ad nauseum. Is your system running efficiently? Is it effective? You're looking at your inputs, your processes, and your outputs. Are you maximizing the amount of output you're getting from your inputs? So system efficiency. Facilities, the availability of your facility and the condition, your appearance. To the best of your ability, can you make the appearance of your product or service attractive? Market assets, the image, the reputation, and the eye of the customer, right? So that that thing called reputation, that thing called image is very, very important. How you set about, how you now how you now become positioned in the eyes of your customer. Very, very important. It's hard work. And if you look at, if you go back to these stages of growth in entrepreneurial activity, you would we know about the existence and the survival, and then exponentially now you start getting success and take off. Now that doesn't happen just like that. During your periods of existence and survival is where you are now creating a name for yourself. That's the time when you are now creating a reputation for yourself. And I'm saying yourself meaning your product and your service, your business. That first initial area is where you are now going to get the chatter about your product and service, and word is going to get around that here has this, or here is open, or this person is nice, or this person is competent. This is where the information gets around. This is where you now push yourself to make a presence in the market that you're trying to exist in. And I want you all, I wanna emphasize to you all again, protect your reputation. Protect your reputation. Your reputation is very, very important. Sometimes someone can get a bad rep that would last throughout their lifetime. Companies can get bad reps that can last throughout their lifetime. And what are some of the things that you need to employ in protecting your reputation? In protecting your reputation means that, say, someone gives a bad comment, or someone has some issues with your product or your service. How do you go about recovering? Service recovery. Service recovery. What are some of the things that you might have to do? You all were asked about it in your first in-course assignment. In protecting your reputation, you may have to employ, to get service recovery, you may have to employ something. It's two words, CM. It was in your first in-course assignment. What's it? CM. Anyone wants to tell me? In protecting a reputation, crisis management, yes, Samantha C. Biana, contingency, contingency in the context of a plan B if something is going wrong to maintain your operations. Okay. But yes, Kavita P, crisis management. Samantha C says crisis management, she says control. Crisis management. So yes, crisis management. You want to engage in proper crisis management to ensure that your reputation is protected and kept in order, because that's the one most important thing for your brand, your image, and your reputation. You want to be that provides value, that adds value to the community, which is why a lot of these large organizations engage in something called CSR. What is CSR? What is CSR? They do this because they want to boost their image. Energy companies do it. Um, some companies that have a bad environmental profile do it. Some companies who have that's right, Kavita P. Corporate social responsibility. Yes, Kavita, are the Kavitas and corporate social management. All right, you could just say management, but responsibility is what we're looking for, because that's okay with the typos. That's okay with the typos, guys, girls. That's if a guy make typos as well. So I mean, don't give me no typo for my exam, but I understand with the chat here. Yes, corporate social responsibility because they want to ensure that their image is intact. They want to ensure that persons see them in a particular light and persons see them in a particular way, because your image and your reputation is very, very, very important. I'm urging you all, before we go for the break, I'm urging you all to remember, when you get out there into the working world, when you get out there into your entrepreneurial activity, I want you all to always protect your image and your reputation, meaning do what is necessary to have full service recovery. Do what is necessary to have full service recovery, and that might mean sometimes making a loss on a product. That might mean sometimes breaking even on a product or service. It might mean sometimes you not just make a loss, but you actually do something free for compensation to the customer, especially if the issue arose as a result of your product and service being faulty or bad or whatever. So protecting your image and reputation is very, very important, and I cannot emphasize that point enough. Do not be afraid and do not look only purely at the data and do not look only at the dollars and cents when looking at your reputation and your image. Do whatever it takes to protect your image and your reputation. All right? Good. Let's see if I could just do this. So, opportunities and threats. Opportunities and threats. So, what are the opportunities? What needs are not being met in the marketplace? Can we meet these needs better than our competitors? Remember, this entire SWOT analysis, because we're doing strategic marketing, is done in the context of your competitors, right? Yes, it must be done in the context of your competitors, but I'm saying do not completely get immersed in your competitors. Do not get completely immersed in what them doing, what this person doing, what that person doing. You also need to know what you're doing, and you're just looking at your competitors just to ensure that your market positioning, how you enter the market, might be good. You don't want to enter the market that you're lagging or taking too long to catch up. So it's done in the context of your competitors, but I don't want you to be immersed in it. Okay. um, what needs are not being met in the marketplace? How is the environment changing to our advantage and disadvantage? So let's answer some of those questions. um, you all will have to do a business plan soon, and most likely it will be a pharmacy business plan. So, what needs are not being met in the marketplace? Can you tell me in your communities where you are, or and we can look at the community where you are, or our national community, or our international global community. Give me an answer, if you have any at all, off the top of your mind, of a need that is not being met within your community, nationally or globally, that you can now create an enterprise that can answer or bring a solution to that problem. Anyone wants to put forward as something that they would like to do in their entrepreneurial endeavor? What needs are not being met? The slide says, what needs are not being met in the marketplace? And in marketplace, I said, local community or national community or international community. What needs are not being met potentially with respect to pharmacy or just any other entrepreneurial activity that you may be passionate about? Let's just get some examples out. What do you all want to do for the world? Or what do you all want to do for your community? Or what do you all want to do for Trinidad and Tobago? What do you all want to do for the Caribbean? Come on, let's just look at these examples before we go for the break. Nobody has anything creative. Shakila, Biana, Samantha C, Vikash, Jahil, what idea, what do you see missing in your community in Trinidad or in Caribbean that you think you can now come up with a solution for or provide a solution to? Anybody? Nobody? So I guess everybody is happy with the service and the products that they receive in their respective communities and internationally. Every, Shakila, in other countries, pharmacists are allowed to write prescriptions, so I think it would be a good amendment to our laws. Yes, Shakila, I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree, Shakila. I have a document that I wanted to send to you all from the Federation, the International Federation of Pharmacists, and I think I mentioned this to you in your class already, where our roles as pharmacists, and you all would have been trained to that effect as well, involve involve um, um, uh, the prescribing of medication. We are trained for that. Our laws, however, our 1962 laws, don't facilitate that, and that's perhaps one of the reasons why we may be, lagging behind in the world of pharmacy and in the world of utilizing pharmaceutical services to um, to improve our national healthcare system. So yes, Shakila, that would be a great idea, but how do we put this into a business? It's something that needs to be corrected, but um, how is this now going to be transformed into a business? So I agree that it is a need that should be met. I completely agree. But how are we going to get this into a business? We can't do this on our own, right? Well, it's done. It's done informally because as pharmacists, we are able to recommend um, treatments for several ailments. And what Shakila is saying, as properly trained pharmacists, we are also very aware of the treatment options for a variety of complex illnesses and diseases. The pharmacies are the delivery service to access persons who cannot come. Yes, yes. Now, um, perhaps Leandra, that may have been an issue before, but now I am sure that there are many. Well, I would hope that there are many pharmacies and other businesses as well that have now employed the delivery service option, because a lot of people still want to come out and come into your store and come out because they want to get out of the house. But yes, there are several other persons as well who cannot come out and would like items delivered. So yes, delivery service is something that is, if you see it as a need that requires uh, solvent. Yes, definitely, and yes, that can be incorporated into a business. Right now, this delivery service is being done in the food industry in Trinidad and Tobago, and I think it's called Food Drop, or I think it's Grubhub. Grubhub. I think I know I saw Food Drop. So yes, so that's an example of something that we can get done. Anybody else wanna tell me before we go for a break? Alexis, order online and pick up another day to reduce traffic in pharmacies, especially in these times. Yes, yes, definitely, definitely, definitely. Having an online presence is important. Sometimes you don't need. Well, no, you don't actually need an online store per se, because I understand the largest social media giant called Facebook is actually facilitating persons doing online sales and online transactions. I think Google is also interested in facilitating persons having more online presence. So yes, so online and delivery are definitely two examples of where there may be a need to be met in the marketplace. Good. So let's go for the break now. When we return, we shall complete the strategic marketing plan. We have several slides to go through, and hopefully, if I finish on time, we can take a look at your first in-course assignment. I hope I received all the submissions, because if I do this in first in-course assignment review today, I don't think I'll be accepting any further email submissions. If it's on my learning submitted since last week, since the deadline date, fine, but no email after I do the review today. All right, so we'll go for the break now, and at we shall return at 9:15. Wait, it's already 9:08. We'll return at 9:20.